Indiana Disability History Project, Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, Indiana University. Availability of COVID treatments in communities of color. Seena, Skelton.
I think that often people with disabilities are not assumed to be the best informant of their own care. And it's so ironic because particularly those of us who have long histories with disabilities, right? We are the most informed about our own bodies and about our own care that's needed. And that comes into play that's come into play quite often in over the past couple of years with the pandemic. But I am concerned in terms of the pandemic with the availability of services and treatment in communities of color, and the accessibility of those kinds of treatments. Now that we're moving, more towards treatment versus kind of prevent or vaccination, will those treatments be as accessible in communities of color, like physically in those spaces, but also for individuals of color. Another issue early on in the pandemic, when when vaccines were first coming out, there was and I'll be quite honest, early on, there was an apprehension about those vaccines. And while I was, I did get the vaccine when it was, offered and available for my age group, I was apprehensive about it and I had concerns about it. And as many people have had concerns, but the concerns that I had a lot to do with the history of medicine and science with people of color, particularly Black people. And so I was concerned about getting the vaccine. I was also concerned about where I was getting it. And so I was very strategic about making sure that when I got the vaccine, I went to a location that was situated in a suburban, majority white community, because not that I trusted the capabilities of the providers, the nurses and the individuals who gave the shots in those communities more than maybe a community was more racially diverse. It's just that I trusted the actual vaccination itself more in those communities than the vaccination that might have been provided to communities where there were more people of color. And, some folks might say, well, that's sort of irrational, but when you have a history of people receiving treatment or not receiving treatment, or the quality of the treatment based on race and the negative outcomes, going all the way back to the, Tuskegee experiments, where when that's a part of your known history about how you as a people, as a community, have been treated in this country, you would be remiss if you did not think about those things when making decisions about your care. And so that was something that was very much on my mind about where do I go to get the vaccine.
Music, Redwood Trail. Produced by Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, Center for Health Equity. Funded by the Indiana Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. Copyright 2022, the Trustees of Indiana University.